Good morning, guys. This is Mr. Mills back again. We're looking at Unit 1, Lesson 7 today, Simplifying Expressions, Distribute and Combine. I just want to take a minute to tell you how proud I am as far as how you've been working through this process to get all the way here to Lesson 7 in our first set of content videos. I know that it's different, but I really believe that this method is going to pay off. It'll give you the flexibility to speed up and slow down, and we're going to work throughout the year to have some really cool things at the end of the units so you can learn some extra things about math, and then just make sure you understand the concepts before we go to the unit test. But I'm really proud of your effort, and I want to say thank you before we get started with today's video. So thanks again. Now, our learning objectives here in Lesson 7 are twofold. Students will be able to simplify algebraic expressions by distributing, and second, students will be able to simplify algebraic expressions by distributing and combining like terms. This is really an extension of Lesson 6 where we introduced combining like terms, and we're looking at problems that have a little bit more to them, a few more steps, but you're going to see a lot of similarities in the lessons here compared to Lesson 6. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing, I want to bring back to your remembrance, or for you to recall, the distributive property. We talked about that in a previous unit when we introduced all the properties together. So we've covered this in a previous lesson, but to review, the distributive property basically says two things. First of all, if I have A parentheses B plus C, then that's going to be equal to A times B plus A times C. And if I have A parentheses B minus C, this is going to be equal to AB minus AC. All right, now let's consider some examples. So if I have negative 4 parentheses negative W minus 10, how am I going to work that out? Well, I'm going to take that negative 4 and I'm going to multiply it times both of those things inside of the parentheses. So negative 4 times negative W, two negatives are going to make a positive. Same thing here with the negative 4 and the negative 10. So we get a positive 4W and a plus 40. All right, so let's look at another example. If I have x parentheses 2y minus 5z plus 1, what is that going to give me? I'm going to have x times 2y, x times negative 5z, x times positive 1. So it doesn't matter how many terms I have in the parentheses, my process is going to be the same each time. So this is 2xy minus 5xz plus x. Next one, negative 1/8 quantity parentheses, negative 1/8 times parentheses 4/5 x minus 24. So the first thing is I'm going to do 1/8 times 4/5. That gives me 4/40. Only thing you're going to see over here on this side are the problems as they're already reduced. So it's a good idea with the fractions. Go ahead and write them all the way out. Reduce them either with your calculator or whatever other method you're going to use, so you can see that the answers that I'm getting here on the screen do match up with what you get on your paper. So you'll have negative 1/10 x plus 3 when it's reduced to lowest terms. Let's look at a few more. So what does it mean to simplify an expression? So as before, we're having to move the picture around a little bit to get all the text because I'm still learning how to use it, but just bear with me. All right, so to simplify an expression means to ensure that there are no parentheses and no like terms. In order to do this, distribute first if needed, and then combine like terms. So we're going to get rid of our parentheses, and then we're going to combine all of our like terms when we simplify an expression. So let's take a look at it. So this first one, 8 times 2x minus 3 minus 6x. So the first thing we're going to do is distribute to get rid of the parentheses. So when we do that, we'll have 16 minus 24, and then we bring down the minus 6x. Well, now we have like terms. 16 minus 6 is 10. 16x minus 6x is 10x. And then we just have the negative 24, the minus 24, that comes down. So it's 10x minus 24. Let's look at some more examples, or another example. Here we have two sets of parentheses. We have 6 plus 8, parentheses 4w minus 7, minus parentheses 2w plus 1. Want to insert a quick comment here. Notice that we do not have a number outside of this parentheses. It is understood to be a 1. So this is like taking that last parentheses and multiplying by a negative 1. So the first step here is we're going to get rid of all of our parentheses. So when we do that, the 6 just comes down. 8 times 4 is 32w. 8 times negative 7 is negative 56. Negative 1 times 2w is negative 2w. Negative 1 times positive 1. We've made a mistake. So let's go ahead and fix that. Minus 1. Let's try that again. Another example. So we have 6 plus 8, parentheses 4w minus 7, minus 2w plus 1. So like we said before, that negative 1 on the front, that means we're going to use that on that entire quantity, and it's going to change those signs behind that. So when we look at that, we have 6, parentheses 6 plus 32w, 8 times 4 is 32w, 8 times negative 7 is negative 56, negative 1 times 2w is negative w, and negative 1 times positive 1 is negative 1. Okay, and then when we do that, when we get to our next step, we're going to end up with negative 50, should be negative 51 for our answer, but that's going to, let's see what we actually have here. All right, so I want you to notice here, this is going to be negative 50. Now, I probably will not delete this from the video because it's a very important point. I want you to make sure as you're going through, see that I've been doing this for years, and if I can make a mistake, you can too. So I want you to make sure that you're very careful and that you're very intentional in how you're setting these problems up, and go back and check your work. Because I checked my work before this video and I still missed something. So I want you to make sure that you check your work as you're going through these, so that when you have an assessment or a mastery check, that we're not losing points from careless mistakes, okay? So I want you to do better than me, and I want you to find the mistakes before it's showtime, all right? Now, so the answer should be 30w minus 51. Last example, very quickly. So we have 9 fourths, parentheses 10 over 3x minus 4, minus 1/4, parentheses 2x minus 8. Okay, so with these fractions, as we said before, you're going to work them all the way out. I'm going ahead and reducing them as we go, but make sure that you see how we get the numbers that we have here. All right, first of all, 15 over 2x minus 9 minus 1/2 x plus 2. Here again, I want to point out, be careful about your signs. Be careful about these fractions, because when I looked at this, the key that I had set up had this second step incorrect. And I caught that one before the recording, but you notice on the previous problem, I had missed one. So make sure that you're very careful. Now, 15 over 2x minus 1/2 x is going to be 14 over 2, which is 7. Negative 9 plus 2 is going to give you negative 7. So the answer here is 7x minus 7. So what I want you to do at this point is to go ahead and get started with your practice for this set. We have to make sure your examples have all your steps correct. Make sure that you show your work as you're doing your practice problems. It's better for you to measure twice and cut once than to rush and make a mistake, okay? So we'll see you at show us the practice. We'll give you feedback, and then we'll get ready for our next mastery check. One quick announcement. We're here at lesson 7. There are 3 other lessons in this particular unit, and then we'll be doing the unit test. The last 3 lessons are extension lessons, so you will have some flexibility to choose which one of those 3, or if you want to choose to do more of those for additional points. You have the option to choose for the last 3 lessons only. For this unit, for lessons 8, 9, and 10, you're going to look at all of them and decide which one you want to do first. I'll give you more information either with another video or in class, but I wanted to point that out. You have finished the required lessons once you do the practice and the mastery check for this unit. I'm so proud of you. I know you're going to do great on the unit test, and we'll talk to you real soon.